Good morning, we are SCG, the Seoul Consulting Group. And today we are honored to present our integrated business analysis for our client, LG Electronics. Let's begin. I'm your operations manager, Hyunji, and I'll first walk you through the demand forecasting approach we developed for LG's next generation OLED TVs. We first identified the top 3 OLED TV markets, Europe, the US, and Asia. The data we used for forecasting was reconstructed from cumulative shipment figures. And as for the forecasting method, we selected linear regression. While new products usually lack sufficient historical data for quantitative methods, the OLED TV line has a decade of consistent quarterly growth. So we're not forecasting a completely new category, we're building on a historical trend. Using these prediction models for the representative regions, we derived the following demand forecast for these 6 quarters. Now, where to produce? The good news is these new TVs do not require fundamental changes in assembly processes. This means that the large-scale greenfield investments aren't necessary. Instead, we focused on optimizing LG's existing network. To do this, we followed a regionally structured hub selection framework. Given that the US, Europe, and Asia represent the largest demand regions, we propose selecting one production hub per region. So how did we select the candidate locations? First, we mapped out all the LG's electronics facilities. Then we selected 3 candidates per region, focusing on areas with existing manufacturing density. And here are our final candidates. To evaluate these locations objectively, we adopted a factor rating system. Each factor is assigned a weight to reflect its strategic importance. For each factor, we applied a standardized 5-point scale. First, labor cost was evaluated based on estimated monthly wages for 2025. Proximity to market was assessed using typical shipping lead times from each candidate location to its corresponding target region. This serves as a practical proxy for responsiveness and delivery speed. For transportation infrastructure, we used the World Bank's Logistics Performance Index, enhanced by a qualitative review of its site's access to various transportation methods. This dual-layer approach captures both infrastructure quality and multimodal connectivity. Geopolitical stability was measured using 2 global indices, the World Bank's Political Stability Indicator and the Global Peace Index. Finally, the tariff environment factor incorporated data on FTAs, average tariff rates, non-tariff barriers, and potential trade volatility. We used a special Trump scenario to reflect policy risks under potential US political shifts. So the factor rating analysis resulted in the following table, suggesting that Tennessee, Malawa, and Haiphong are the best regional production hub locations.
Hi, I'm your corporate strategy manager, Sian. I'll explain why Stand By Me matters, focusing on its market potential and 5 forces analysis. First, the market. Stand By Me belongs to the portable TV segment, which is growing fast due to rising demand for mobility, personalization, and flexible screen use. The wireless display market is projected to grow over 22% annually. Stand By Me sales doubled from 100,000 in 2023 to 200,000 in 2024, now holding around 45% of this market. Why is this happening? Today, over 28% of households globally are single-person homes. These consumers prefer smaller, flexible devices over large, fixed TVs. At the same time, video consumption is shifting to mobile platforms, making profitability and smart UX more essential. Stand By Me aligns perfectly with these trends. Now 5 forces. First, rate of new entry is low. Developing a rotating wireless display with integrated UX software requires large investment. LG also holds key patents. Second, supplier power is low. LG uses internal components like IPS panels and inverter motors, reducing dependency. Third, buyer power is moderate. Though LG leads substitutes like Tablets and projectors raise price sensitivity. Enhancing UX and ecosystem is key to defending its premium. Fourth, rate of substitute is high. Tablets, projectors, and laptops are offering similar functions, often at lower prices. Stand By Me must emphasize lifestyle value. Finally, liability is moderate. LG dominates nearly half the market, but competitors are catching up with cheaper alternatives. Ongoing innovation is essential. In short, Stand By Me leads a fast-growing niche but faces real challenges. LG must keep strengthening its UX brand and platform advantage as a first mover. Thank you.
So I'm your venture strategy manager, Manon. I have prepared an assessment of your recent alliance decisions. So in 2021, LG acquired a majority stake in Alfonso, a US startup specialized in AI-driven TV audience data. This support shifts LG shifts from a hardware company to a digital platform company. The main strength in their alliance is their perfect technological fit. Alfonso Rare Resources paired with LG Smart TV Network allow for precise targeted ads and personalized content while keeping away competitors like Google or Samsung. However, significant risk remains, including cultural clashes between Alfonso startup culture and LG corporate style, market volatility, and potential losses from a high acquisition cost if markets slow down. For the strategy of LG in corporate venture capital, so it's structured in three entities: LG Nova, which incubates and co-develops startups; LG Technology Ventures, who act like financial investors; and Nova Prime Funds, linking strategy and investment in key areas like smart mobility, clean tech, digital health. And this approach allows LG to not just invest, but actively bring startups into its own ecosystem, and by waving innovation into its platform and giving access of global markets to its startups, LG speed up its shift into a smart life company and secures long-term growth in emerging areas.
I'm Cheha, and the financial instructor of SCG, and I'll show you the analysis of 500 billion won investment in its AI-driven smart home platform, LG Fura. First of all, considering the research of LG Electronics, the market value of debt to total capital ratio is 53% and an equity to total capital ratio of 47%. LG Electronics' most recent credit rating is assumed to be AA, which means that we can get the cost of debt of 1.9175% while using the average 3-year yield of 2.95%. In the perspective of cost of equity, we can guess 3.862% while using risk-free rate of 3-year Korean government bond, market return for 10-year historical average of cost-P index, and beta of 1.23. Lastly, if we use the WACC formula for the calculation, we can get the number of 2.95%. The smart home platform market is projected to reach approximately 3.2 trillion won in 2025, growing at an annual rate of 70% through to 2030. Even with a 5% share, LG could generate over 160 billion won in its first year. But our forecast goes beyond market share. We incorporated factors like LG's CAGR, asset-driven revenue potential, AI appliance adoption across product lines, and consumer purchase intentions, while also adjusting for the cannibalization effects. Based on these assumptions, the payback period is 4.48 years. The IRR is 3.45% and surpassing LG's WACC of 2.95%. And the MPV exceeds 7.1 billion won. This indicates this investment is not only financially viable but also strategically valuable, enhancing manufacturing, accelerating time to market. Therefore, we recommend proceeding with the investment.
Hi, I'm your marketing manager, Kaya. Let me now walk you through the marketing execution strategy for LG Stand By Me. To build a distinct lifestyle positioning, LG employed a full spectrum media strategy, moving beyond paid, owned, and earned media and into experiential engagement. We look into how these elements came together to shape the brand perception and drive consumer behavior. Altogether, these promotional strategies paid off. Monthly sales more than doubled from 8,000 units in 2023 to 19,000 in 2024. And perhaps the most notable sign is online communities began calling Samsung similar products like Samten by Me. That nickname signals not only category leadership but also early signs of brand identification, where Stand By Me becomes the name people associate with portable displays. Let's now take a step back and look at the core value proposition behind Stand By Me. According to the 2023 business report and under LG's fund strategy, the company continues to frame Stand By Me as a personalized content platform for the new generation. From the broader vision, we identify three key themes that define how Stand By Me delivers value. First, portable display. Second, lifestyle innovation. Third, and home cinema. Moving on to LG's brand equity performance assessment based on these three core values. LG ranked first in portable display with 29 mentions, and in home cinema, LG also came out on top with 20 mentions. However, in lifestyle innovation, Apple was clearly dominant, while LG lagged behind with just 12 mentions. We complemented this with a brand association check. Please refer to the videos that represent the mentioned keywords and their frequencies. Based on this video, we assess how effectively LG value proposition for Stand By Me has been internalized by consumers. Then, let's begin with strengths. First, portable display. Here, LG recorded the highest mention share. Emotionally marketing campaigns like Content Lovers showcase Stand By Me's versatile use cases and making it easier for consumers to associate the product with the concept of a portable display. The second area of strength is home cinema. LG achieved an 18.3% mention share here, reinforcing its positioning in immersive viewing. By placing Stand By Me in warm, emotionally rich spaces, campaigns like the Banyan Tree Moon Bar help people envision it as part of their at-home OTT viewing experience. But not everything was positive. A clear weakness emerged in the area of lifestyle innovation. Here, LG's mention share was just 10.2%, far behind Apple, which dominated with 27 mentions. This indicates a perception gap. While Stand By Me does promote solo living, mobility, and on-demand streaming, these qualities have yet to translate into a deeper emotional identity around innovation or transformation. Instead of being seen as part of the broader lifestyle movement, like Apple, LG's innovation remains perceived as product-specific, not brand-led. This is echoed in association responses that mention pull marketing, suggesting that consumers recognize the technological value but not the story behind it. Thank you for the opportunity to work on this project. We are SCG, the Seoul Consulting Group, and we look forward to supporting LG's next piece of innovation and global growth. Thank you.